And in continuation of the video that I have posted before, this video talks about the transitioning of human species into Rave, and information that has been taken out of the revelation that received Rave in 1987, that brought us the understanding of the human mechanics of the body graph and of the further mechanics of the other species that is coming. So let's start a little bit with the development of the human form. So it really took a lot of time for us to arrive where we are today. And according to the revelation in 1781, we have transitioned from seven chakra, seven center beings. And before, when there was a time of Neanderthal, we were five centers beings, and later we were seven centers. And in 1871, we have transitioned from seven centers to nine centers, which means all the children who were born after 1781, they were born as a nine-center beings, and they are not more driven by the mind, and they are here to the beginning of the Homo sapiens in transitus, which we represent in our form. And that is why certain practices, certain realizations and understanding cannot be actually implemented by us as successfully as they were implemented by seven center beings, because they're simply not for us. We are here to represent the self-reflected consciousness in form that is here to live according to ourselves and discover how our body and how our energy drives us into the correct directions, and not to use our mind anymore. Everything that is related to mind consciousness, it is just not from this era. It doesn't belong to us. And as we study the Homo sapiens in transitus that is represented by our form, nine center forms, we also know, and the Rao has been informed, that there is another form that is coming into play, that is Raves. And yes, they will be coming from human bodies, but the design crystal of their bodies and the personality crystal, it is not more human. They are specifically designed for another form. This form, they will not be able to communicate. They will absolutely have no need to communicate. They will not use their throats, and they will not need food specifically in the perception as we do now. And this is one of the reasons why we are starting to struggle more with food on our planet, because the program, as it was supporting the humanity before, it is not more interested to support the human form, and it will not be necessary for Rave to have all the produce, to have all the farming, and to take care of that part. So it will gradually fall apart, and no wonder that food is becoming quite expensive and hard to get and scarce for humans, because the matrix, the program, is not interested in supporting the system anymore. The particular very important thing for Raves is that they don't represent individual consciousness. That's very difficult for us to understand, and only if you actually put the two baby Raves next to each other, 2, 3, 4, or 5, they will create a field of consciousness, and in this field of consciousness they will operate as one. The only way that I can relate to this is like bees or ants. They do not survive by only one. They survive as a whole, and they actually represent one whole mechanism, and they are united in their consciousness, this is something that we can relate to understand what will be this new form of raves. The autism that we see now in our children is one of the form of it is still a mutation, and of course these are people and they're in human bodies, but autism is something like a mutation that we can observe as a, you know, as an experiment, as a trial towards that moves us towards this another space. I think I have done another video about 2027. You can go into videos and find it. And just one of the things that I mentioned in that video, that fertility will become more problem, and it will be harder to for babies to be born and for human babies to be born. And I think we already start to observe this problem in the world. But in order to let you know, like, it's actually not that easy to bring into the world the Rave child, because there is a certain conditioning, there is a certain a set of elements including certain DNA dynamics that should be presented in both parents for them to be able to give birth to a Rave. And it is said that there are a lot of them who will die before the humans will actually understand what they are, how to help them survive. And basically one of the first things that will be needed is that we just put them together, at least two of them, so that they connect into the field, and in this way they will, you know, they will somehow continue to develop. So I was happy to unfold this topic. This is not an easy topic. There isn't there aren't many courses that Rai gave on this information, but there is a Rave cosmology that covers this topic in human design, and I will come back with more if you will leave me a feedback that this topic is particularly interesting to you. Thanks.